there you go. You should be all set up and ready to play some virtual reality, buddy. You're gonna love it in there. It's like you can fly around and do whatever you want. There you go. These are little controllers for your hands. Enjoy, man. Ah, sweet. I gotta fly around and kill stuff. Hi, I'm Danny Knightmare, and I'm a horror addict, and tonight, it's the full moon. Thought I'd do something a little nice for Monsterface, give him the night off. He's been bugging me about the VR, he never gets a chance to play it, so I hooked him up with a game called Arcade. Arcade, it's a game inside a movie by the same name. Directed by Albert Pyun, you know, the guy that did Dollman. In fact, they made these movies back to back in '91. However, this doesn't come out till '93, we'll get into the reasons why. He also did a lot of other great movies, like the original Cyborg movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then he also did the Nemesis movies. He just had a Cyborg Nemesis come out. If that's a crossover, I don't know, but I'm gonna definitely have to check it out. He also directed Captain America. Okay, the 1990 Captain America. Originally, this movie was supposed to come out in '91 with Dollman, but it got pushed back because special effects had to be changed because they were in a lawsuit with Disney. Apparently, Disney saw their poster ad and said, "Whoa, you're stealing Tron." And I see there is a small resemblance, but come on, they're completely different movies. And Tron sucks, especially the new Tron. They had to redo all the CGI and special effects for this movie, and I use the word special very lightly because they're shit. Now, this movie has a lot of good things going for it, but it does not really hold up to today's special effects. I'd say the plot holds up. I mean, it's a story that's been told several times, and we have Lawnmower Man, The Matrix, Ready Player One just came out. People still are obsessed with virtual reality and being inside a computer. Let me tell you what I think did hold up. Awesome 90s soundtrack. It has an all-star cast. Jonathan Fuller is in this film. You might know him as the freak from Castle Freak, or that dude who's obsessed with bread in the Pit and the Pendulum. But in this, he's simply just the voice of Arcade himself. Yeah, he looks kind of like a mixture of a bad guy from Crash Bandicoot and Transformers. But despite what he looks like, Jonathan Fuller gives a good performance. He even channels his inner Freddy Krueger a few times.
He's right here, bitch!
Starts off with a really dramatic scene as a girl named Alex witnesses her mom commit suicide. It's really messed her up. I guess it's only been about almost a year, and her counselor expects her to be completely over it.
It's all my fault. I didn't try hard enough. I must have let her down.
Goddamn counselor doesn't even try to argue with her, tell her it's not her fault, just lets her go off thinking that. She's a shitty fucking counselor. Anyways, Alex is played by Megan Ward. You might remember her from other awesome 90s things like Encino Man, show Dark Skies. Hell, she's in tons of episodes of Melrose Place and Party of Five. She is an all-around 90s girl. In fact, so is her entire crew. We got Seth Green up in here playing stilts. He's into a girl named Lori. She's played by AJ Langer. You might remember her from My So-Called Life, and more importantly, People Under the Stairs. She's also got another homie named Nick, and yes, that is Peter Billings. You know, Ralphie, shoot your eye out. It's cool to see him in this 90s movie, but it just feels weird when he's in a setting that's not the 50s. Peter Billings was actually great in this movie, not just because he gave a good performance, but because when they needed to redo all the CGI, he took a heavy part in doing so. Anyways, Alex and the gang all go to the arcade, which is appropriately named Dante's Inferno. And of course, there's a brand new game called Arcade. Lazily titled, but hey, it's in its special own room. It's one where you sit down and you put on the goggles and you put on the gloves, kind of lean into the goggles, all Virtual Boy style, which is probably a huge pain in the neck. Also, don't forget the ejection button.
Yeah, well, that's in case things get a little intense. It's kind of like an eject button.
Nick won't need it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he will. Alex's boyfriend Greg is now gonna step up and take the next challenge. Not only do these kids get to witness the debut of Arcade at their local arcade, but they also get home console versions to take with them? What? Oh man, John D. Lancey's character is really generous. That's probably the most far-fetched thing. You might know John D. Lancey from the hundreds of TV shows and movies he's been in. I know him best as Q from Star Trek. He's also done a lot of animation as well. But while everybody's distracted, Greg dies. I guess that when you die in the computer world...
Like, do I go to a virtual heaven?
Yeah, I guess you do go there. You go somewhere because you're gone.
Has anyone seen Greg?
Well, look at it this way, Alex. Maybe you don't know where your boyfriend is, but hey, free car.
So where is he?
I guess he took off. You have his keys, right?
She goes home, kind of upset that her boyfriend apparently ditched her. Might as well play that home console version of arcade, right? It comes with its own neato gloves that can hook up to your TV or your shitty old 90s computer. I guess anything with a monitor will do. Hey, and some awesome Star-Lord goggles. Come on, that's badass. A lot better than putting their neck up against the goggles like they do at the actual arcade. I'd just rather play it at home. Seriously though, this is a lot like Ready Player One with all the gloves and the goggles. Also kind of reminds me of the Riddler's plan in Batman Forever. There's a lot going on here. Obviously, despite all the flaws, I still really like this movie, and I'm gonna have to recommend you see it. The effects are shit, established, but in their own charming way, I still kind of enjoy them. You remember those old game shows where the kids were on a green screen and it kind of looked like they were in a video game, but they really weren't in a video game? It's a lot like that. There's no nudity, unfortunately, and the blood is pretty light. It's got a cool cast, the story's entertaining, and I just enjoy it. So Jonathan Fuller, as Arcade, tries to kill Alex while she's in there. She ejects, tells her everything. He's like an evil villain and he's monologuing. This is why it kind of reminded me of the Riddler, because it comes in through the TVs and wants your soul? I guess the Riddler wanted your knowledge, but either way, he likes to monologue. And he's hard to pull the plug on. But she manages to do that, goes over to Nick's house through his window because, hey, you know, it's the 90s, and between Dawson's Creek and Clarissa Explains It All, it seems like everybody went through the window in the 90s. Nick's playing on a shitty PC. He talks to her about how it's almost as if this whole game is alive. And she's like, it is alive, and it killed Greg. And then he's like, that's stupid. You're a stupid girl. Damn, Nick's a dick. They tell Stilts not to play the game. I think Seth Green had more to do in this movie. I think most of them did. But when they had to go back and reshoot and re-edit the CGI, I think a lot of stuff kind of just got cut. And he couldn't play his version because his TV was broken, and they say that's good. Stay away from all TVs. They're gonna go check on Lori. Lori's already kind of having a weird trip with Arcade. She's kind of possessed. She's breathing, so might as well just leave her there.
Is she breathing? Then let's just go.
Oh, wait, she disappeared. Why does everybody disappear when nobody's watching? It's rather odd. Nick now fully believes, and the only thing they can really go do is track down John Delaney and tell him they want a refund, damn it. Well, no, not exactly, but they're definitely gonna go give him some questions. Hey, that receptionist looks pretty familiar. Well, I mean, he doesn't, and he does at the same time. I almost didn't recognize him. Yeah, that's how I'm used to seeing him. Mr. Difford just like, oh, okay, you want special tips? Well, I'll send you to our programmer. And he pretty much straight up tells him you should probably just not play Arcade. But if you're gonna play it, you might as well take this map. It'll tell you all the secrets and everything you really need to know about the game. They have the option to go back to Arcade in Dante's Inferno, and because it's just open, I guess. Well, never mind, that's what the tire iron was for. Could have just kept driving.
Maybe we just shouldn't play the game at all. Just keep on driving.
I wish we could.
So you throw in some quarters because Arcade's a bum.
You have to put in money.
Alex, you don't need to put money in. This game can run on its own.
Yes, you do. Don't you see? That's what it wants.
Could have just played it for free at your house with your cool Star-Lord goggles, but no. Somehow they're going to share the hard set goggles and the gloves? That doesn't quite add up. Anyways, magic teleported into the game, so I guess it fixes itself. Oh no, the map.
Shit, the schematics.
That's okay, Alex has got a couple tricks up her sleeve.
I'm the map, I'm the map.
Hell, did they just wander onto the Dollman set? Yes, I believe that is the same rock quarry where that movie ends. But like I said, these were filmed back to back. Too bad Dollman himself's not in there. He just shoot that fucking skull thing. One of their buddies is in a pit and dying. She gets blood splashed on her. She just needs to find that orange flag. Oh wait, that's Double Dare. But even though he died going into the pit, she jumps in there too. Which, you know, that kind of stuff does happen in video games. Go down a warp zone or some shit. Then she arrives at the River Styx.
You may ask one of us a question. One tells the truth, the other lies.
Pretty straightforward, and I've seen it done better in movies like The Labyrinth. She now is going to the City of Truth. Hey, random kid drops in. And that kid was also in Dollman. Funny thing is, though, before you really get to see him, I thought, holy shit, that sounded like Junior from Problem Child. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's definitely not him. But actually, it is. No, he's not the main kid in Problem Child. But Humberto Ortez actually was an additional voice for Junior when they had some narration scenes. Kind of blew my mind just figuring that all out. out. Anyway, she helps the kid. She gets her extra life, which she's gonna need. She finds the soul of arcade.
Jesus Christ, Albert, the kid's arcade!
The donor was a little boy. His mommy hid him until he went to sleep forever.
They used his brain and now he's evil and he wants revenge. Kind of don't blame him. I would also be upset if I was killed and put into a video game. Anyway, she rips out his heart. Did they use the kid's heart too? I don't remember them saying that, but oh, whatever. She wakes up and, oh my god, it was all a dream. No, thank fucking god they did not end this movie that way. I would not have recommended it so highly. She has to go to hell where she sees her mom's alive, but then her mom kills herself again. She uses an extra life to get away from the hell and defeats Arcade for good. It's all over. All of her friends do kind of come back to life, which I'm not a big fan of when stuff like that happens. Why the hell are 3 of them wearing the exact same fucking flannel shirt? I know it's the 90s, but come on, there's a little more variety and style there. But, you know, her mom's still dead. The kid is still,
Right here.
Bitch.
It's kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street where you get a good and a bad ending all at once. Anyways, I hope you guys are all enjoying the full moon. If you've seen Arcade, what'd you think about it? How do you feel about it holding up today? If it was a video game, even with its crappy graphics, would you play it? I mean, virtual reality is big again these days. Speaking of which, I gotta go get Monsterface. He's been playing for a while, and shit, he don't have an eject button. I better get on that. Alright, dude, hand over the controls. It's time to unplug you. How'd you like it? Put me back in! Put me back in, damn it! I wanna live there forever! Plug me back in! Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Thanks for watching.
Bitch.
Cut!
Yeah.